for this week we're going to look at a George Benson lick. It's from the recording Body Talk. That's the album. That's also the name of this song. This time period for him, killer. This album, there's an album called Bad Benson that's right around here. All this stuff, all his playing's great, but he really, it's pretty burning. Anyway, it's got a lot of chromaticism in it, especially to start off with. It's a short 2-bar lick, but the first little phrase is this. That's that chromatic part, but if you'll notice, he's not doing a straight chromatic. It's actually around, almost an enclosure around the pentatonic. So if you look at E major pentatonic, we're over an E7 chord. See how he's going. So if he was going to do straight pentatonic, he actually hits this note next. Straight pentatonic. Straight chromatic. He doesn't do that. So he's really skipping a note. Same thing after it does 4 straight frets on both your E string and your B string. Then we're going to go to the G string and just do 11, 10, 9. Like I said, it's right around the pentatonic right there. So then the next one goes, which is basically 10 to 11 on your D string. And if you look at this, that is your flat 7, your minor 7th, which is a chord tone, down to the 6th there. And then, really that feeds you into, you can think of it as a C sharp minor arpeggio. So we got, you can really get away with some sweep picking here if you're into that. If you're not a sweep picker, or that sounds weird, sweep picker. Anyway, it sounds derogatory. But if you're not into that, you can do some hammer-ons and pull-offs. I would certainly, however you're going to come at this, there's a little bit of work here with your straight when you're doing that chromatic part. You could do that if you don't use your pinky, although I would say this is a great time to start using it. You could. Just a different thing. After you play your C sharp minor arpeggio, you're on the B string, and you just can pull off, or you're going 12 to 10. I would think that is the first lick. Really kind of this, you can think of as a connector between, you can split it up 3 ways. Think of that as a lick, or think of that as an idea, a motif, and so when you're improvising, you could mix that up. You wouldn't have to go straight down chromatically like he did. You could, something to that effect, go up, mess with the chromaticism a little bit, the order of those notes. And then that little phrase connects you to the next thing. And I would think of that as a nice little idea. That's a really cool, I think that's the thing that stuck out to me when I was listening through the song. It was like, oh, wait, what was that? And he kind of does something similar in a couple other places. There's some really cool, there's a lot of chordal stabs, and even the very end will show a little bit of that. But then there's also some of these longer chromatic licks, and with some arpeggios. And that's what this is. This part starts. So the formula out of this is when you play down a half step from your chord, In this case, E dominant, you get that flat 7, you get the 9, and then you get your 11. But then so it will actually work. I said if you had an E minor, that'll work. Or if you have, in this case, an E7, because there's no third. But there is a flat 7, and both those chords have flat 7s. If that is gobbledygook to you, don't worry about it. Just whenever you see a dominant chord, you can go down 2 frets and play a major chord. So we got, that starts us off. Then you come up to the 14th, then 11th, then 12th. Then 14, 11, 12, 13, all in the G string. Whoops. Real cool phrase to move around. So if you want to think of, if you've got a B7, you just go. Or just move it around. But that's a great little idea lick in itself. And then, this is at the very end of the solo before it modulates up. There's a lot of him soloing. It's really a vamp. But then he goes into a bunch of chordal, and the first one he does is just, he goes minor to major. With your 6 there on your pinky that stays. So the whole thing goes. And then your chordal stabs. Anyway, really cool lick. Definitely check out Benson from this time period. Just check out Benson. But until next week, see you then.